interrupt this program with a special report.
I got a message for all you folks out there in Radio Land. So sit tight and bend an ear.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the Manga Monday show. My name is Edgar, and joined by me once again is...
Ben. My name's Ben.
Benny.
Benny
Benji.
boy.
Does
Benji,
anybody call you
Benjamin. Yeah, actually I was a part of a soccer team for about like 10 years, a full Hispanic soccer team. And if
My boys.
You don't know, if you don't know, I'm not Hispanic.
Big old white guy over here.
Yeah, so I went up to my coach and I was like, "Hey, my name is Benny," and he went, "Oh, okay, Benji," and I was like,
Not really, but okay.
And I was too shy to say anything else, so my name was Benji in that soccer team for 10 years.
Nice.
Yeah, it was great.
I like Benji, but
Benji's a nice
obviously
one.
I call you Ben. I don't think I call you Benny. Does anybody call you Benny?
Yeah. My mom does. My family does. My mom calls me Benjamin. Also, my aunt calls me Benjamin. My cousin calls me Benjamin. But yeah.
Do you have a middle name?
Yeah, Georg.
Georg?
Thanks. Thanks for making me say that.
I forgot. We made fun of you for that.
Hilarious. Oh, it's so funny. Yeah. Thanks. If I ever move to Japan, I think I might change my name to Benny, to Beni.
It's probably easier to say too.
Yeah, like Benny Maru. You know.
Yeah, that would be cool.
From Fire Force.
Yeah. I think there's all sorts of ways. I think there's like an actual way to. I don't know Japanese, but I hear there's like different ways to say actual English names, like in Japanese. So I'm pretty sure there's a version of Edgar and like a bunch of other Eddie. It's like
what was that? There's if you don't know
what are you talking about?
There's
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know what I'm talking about?
No.
There's a YouTube meme of the Attack on Titan sub actors saying Bertolt.
Oh, but like he changes it every time.
Yeah, and they change it to like, and at the end it's something absurd like Bertolt.
Yeah, like if you see, I think it's in the subtitles. At least I saw the video like in Netflix. There was this girl watching Attack on Titan, and then you can see that the subtitles would even change. Yeah. It's a Bertolt or Bertotol or Bertolts or I don't know. It's just really, you'll see the subtitles change if you just look it up. You'll probably be able to find it.
Yeah, and you don't notice it when you watch it, but when
they change the name,
when you rewatch it, you're like, wait, what? Anyway, Edgar. What have you been doing? What have you been reading? What have you been
reading?
Playing,
pretty
watching?
much the same. I just been ready. Yeah, just struggling on school and and reading has been pretty much the same. And watching nothing much really other than Moon Knight. I've seen the finale, but you haven't.
I haven't.
We'll talk about it next week.
Yep.
And I've just been really psyching myself up for Doctor Strange. We'll be seeing tomorrow, which is great. We'll also discuss that
I can't believe
later.
it's tomorrow, by the way. It still feels like it's a month away.
Yeah, it feels like, I don't know, like this one hasn't really been like I usually hype myself or like, I'm like, oh my God, it's happening. Like we're these many days away from like the movie. And not like I haven't been hyped for it. It's just like this one has just been like, it's here now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So like, it could be like amazing. Wasn't prepared for it, or it could just like meet my expectations that I have. But I haven't been thinking about this one a lot more than I have Spider-Man No Way Home.
Well, I've been like trying to stay away from the recent trailers because the recent trailers
spoilers are out now.
spoil some stuff.
Yeah.
Like it was a couple days ago. Edgar texted me and he said, "Stay away from social media because they're gonna spoil you."
Yeah, huge spoilers.
And the first thing I did was go on YouTube. The literal first thumbnail was a spoiler, and I was like, "Are you kidding me?" It was awful.
This guy in the spoilers.
It was awful. They're attracted to me.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
You've been spoiled. I mean, I've been spoiled before, but it happens to Ben like way more often than it should.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh no, bro, like no. It also happens in anime in manga. He's like, oh man, I love this character so much. I'm gonna Google it just to look up on any information. You type in anime name, and then it says death right after it in the search bar. I'm like, whoa, no. But sometimes
you
they're
go
wrong.
on the Wikipedia and it's like status dead. And you're
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
no. And you're like, why did I click that?
It happens to the best of us. It happens. It happens to somebody. It happens to everyone at some point when they're watching, reading manga phase. But today we got some good stuff for you.
Wait, hold
actually,
on.
yeah, I forgot to ask you. I'm not doing anything. What are you doing?
Well, I
What have you been
wanted to
reading?
ask because I saw that you bought Inio Asano's Punpun manga. Have you been reading
Good Night,
that?
Punpun?
Yeah, Good Night Punpun.
I haven't picked it up yet, but I do have the first volume, and I
Okay,
do plan on
right,
reading
right.
it. I've heard nothing but good things. Sad things, yes. I just hear of how life changing and how it. I hear it's sad, depressing to a certain extent, but I hear that the art is amazing and that it's just like such a surreal experience. I hear that it's also not really a autobiography, but like it has some truth to it about the author's life, and it's very if not accurate. I hear it's very influenced by how he grew up, and it's super interesting when I first heard it because I heard that not only is the art style and the manga is super detailed and there's a lot of work put into it, but the main character is a bird. He portrays himself, or at least the main character is a simply drawn bird, and it's just so like surreal to look at a highly drawn page and then you see like a simply like bird that like a 5-year-old could draw.
It's
which
really
is
good.
really like you can really put yourself in the shoe of the main character because the main character just looks like a bird, so it could literally be anybody. So it's just super cool, and I'm excited to read it, but I'm also like kind of like scared to read it.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where you're like, I don't want to be a puddle of crying mess.
Yeah, I'm
by
really-
the end of it.
I
I don't
also-
want it. I don't want me to have depression.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those are that's on the list of like of things that I want to get into, but is also like I'm really scared.
You need to be mentally
what'll-
prepared.
There's also a book, like an actual novel that's called No Longer Human.
I've
That's
heard of it.
also
Yeah.
really like along the same lines, if not like more. But I heard it's also super depressing.
Yeah.
Japanese
That's-
man,
Yeah,
they're
well,
just like
that's the same. That's the same with me. Like when it comes to like ends of series, you know, like when I binge Lord of the Rings, I need to be mentally prepared for the ending of Lord of the Rings. I need to be mentally prepared for the ending of Avatar. Otherwise, I'm a puddle of crying mess.
I don't know.
And
I
my
mean,
entire week is
but those
ruined.
are like nice. They end.
They
nice.
are nice, but those are the ones that get me. The ones where I'm like, no, don't leave. You know, I'm like,
I guess,
yeah.
but I feel like this is more along the lines of like Grave of Fireflies or something like Schindler's List or Hachi.
Of course.
Have you seen Schindler's List or?
Yeah.
Have you seen Hachi or heard of the story of
I
Hachi
have
the
not
dog?
heard of Hachi now.
It's sad. It's like about the dog who waits for his master, his owner, to return, and then the owner dies. Eventually dies.
Yeah.
and it's based off a real dog.
Yeah,
And I don't like thinking about it. Every time I hear that story or I've only watched the movie once because I'm not gonna watch it again because of how depressing it is. But I have my
Yeah.
dog. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna play with you. I'm gonna take you on a walk right now.
nice.
I just get super
Well,
sad.
the reason why I bring that up is so I'm reading. I don't know if I stated I'm reading Black Clover, and we'll talk about that. I'm gonna read it, and very similar to how Edgar will read One Piece, he will read One Piece eventually. I'm holding a gun over his head.
Please don't make me.
Not a real gun, obviously.
No, I'm looking forward to reading it. Again.
Of course. But Black Clover is not as big as One Piece, but it is big. So I was thinking that we would talk about eventual arcs, or maybe we would, when I reach chapter 100, we would talk about it or something.
Is there
like
anything of
You know.
special that happens in chapter 100 of Black Clover? I can't remember.
Yeah,
I know
I
the
don't
big
know.
moments in Black Clover. I just don't know where the chapters align.
Yeah. We'll talk about it when that comes. Maybe we'll do arc on arc like we want to do with One Piece. But yeah. I'm halfway through Vagabond. Whoa, man, it's good.
It is?
Ho. Yeah, it really it was good, but volume 6, it just ups it up a notch. It's really good.
Chapter 100 after that. If you're not,
It is on chapter 150, but it's always good. But it's really, really, really good. They just did a backstory about a deaf swordsman, and it's really good. It's a really good story. And then the reason why I brought up Punpun was because I am also reading an Inio Asano.
he's done other work.
Yes, he has.
I
He's
didn't know
done 3 other works. I forgot the other one, but we talked about this on our second Manga Monday show. We talked about Dead Demons Destruction.
That's by him?
That's by him. Yeah.
Really?
He's writing it right now. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So I read volume 1. And when I read the synopsis, right, because the synopsis is about basically there's this giant UFO that's hovering over Japan.
Of course.
And impending doom is coming.
As it usually happens.
And everybody freaked out for about 2 weeks, and the adults and the politicians are still freaking out, but the kids kind of don't care anymore. And I thought it was going to be a comedy. Ooh, no, I was wrong. Well, there are funny parts in it, but oh my, I have never read a manga. It's so I'm surprised.
Did it just take a drastic turn in terms of
No.
seriousness?
There is no turn. It was literally, it's ambiguous. It's political. It's profound. It's philosophical. It's really like, I'm surprised it's not talked about enough because
it is new, isn't it?
How
new is it?
It came out in 2018.
Oh,
but
well,
it's so weird because it's like the UFO can be compared to any tragedy. It's kind of insane how similar it was to the COVID-19 pandemic, because like stuff happens with politicians and the kids kind of don't care because they're used to impending doom. And of course, a lot of people think that UFO might stand for, global warming.
Yeah,
or might stand for COVID-19 and stuff.
Yeah,
like
the
that.
way you're describing it makes it seem like it's an allegory for any type of catastrophe or world-changing event.
Yeah, and so they're living in basically this apocalypse, and they're still worrying about like college exams and stuff like that. It's insane, and it's really good. The art is gorgeous. The anime is going to be really good.
It's getting an anime.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, you mentioned this
That's
on the
what
news.
we talked about
on
our first day.
Before Poon Poon, really?
Yeah,
because I don't think Poon Poon has a anime.
Oh
Does
really?
It? I don't think it does.
Maybe.
I never hear it. Or at least I never heard it talked about. But without spoilers, does this UFO do anything, or is it just still, at least where you are reading it?
I'm only like 75% through volume 1, but I hear that in like the 4th volume something happens. So
right.
yeah.
Well, I was just wondering if it was just still there doing anything, because I remember it reminds me, the way you described it reminded me of District 9, that movie with the also ship that just shows up and kind of just stays there. I mean, the aliens are like there, at least in this one, it just stays there.
Yeah. But that's interesting. I just wanted to say Inio Asano has piqued my interest very recently. Edgar, why don't we go into the news? You got a couple stuff for us.
Yeah, we both do. We got some good goodens.
Goodens.
First one, Attack on Titan OADs gets dubbed.
Oh yeah,
and is set to release on May 8th. So by this point, if I think it releases by this point when you hear the episode, it'll already be out.
This
is
going to be so good.
Crunchyroll announced on Monday that it will stream English dubs for all the 8 Attack on Titan original anime DVD episodes. Starting on May 8th, dubbed episodes will premiere weekly, so you'll probably be getting one episode by episode.
Dude, that's so good.
Yeah,
that's exactly what we needed.
Yeah.
That is exactly what we needed. Attack on Titan dry. You thought Attack on Titan month was over? Well, guess what? We're back, baby. Next week, reviews of every single OVA.
Oh my God. People are like rolling their eyes. No.
Make it stop.
I thought it was over. But originally, these episodes, I mean, I guess you can call them OVAs because that's what people usually refer to them as. But they're OADs, so they went straight to DVD. They weren't released, I think, at least to the general public on streaming sites or on television in Japan.
Yeah.
But they're extra episodes. I believe all of them are canon. So they're extra good stuff that aren't exactly tied with the main story, but you get snippets
they're
of
all
people's
canon.
Yeah, you get snippets of people's past or like stuff that you didn't see beforehand. The big one that everybody talks about is No Regrets, which talks about Levi's past. Originally, they recently released it just on Crunchyroll a month ago, and people were hyped about that. But that was just a sub. But for you dub enjoyers, you're finally going to be getting these episodes dubbed.
And this so they're. Oh, so they're
Ben's over here
so they're coming off of season 4, and now the actors got to go back in time.
Yeah, we get Erwin.
We get Erwin's voice actor again.
Yeah, the dub.
Dude, I'm so excited.
And
this is gonna be so good. Bro.
And this was animated like way back then when I think season 2 or 3 was getting animated. So this will be done by Wit Studio. So you'll get more Wit Studio stuff for if you're missing Wit Studio Attack on Titan content, especially with dub.
I don't want people to hate me, but I prefer Wit over Mappa. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
That's not a unpopular topic. That's not an unpopular opinion.
I didn't say anything, but I'm
who was
so
that?
excited.
I don't know who said that. I heard whispers in my ear.
Who said that? Max? No,
Ben, where were you?
Yeah.
Max is my dog.
Edgar's dog came in and told us that. But yeah, dude, I'm so
hyped.
excited.
Yeah.
I'm so hyped. New Attack on Titan every week. At the 8 weeks, after the 8 weeks is done, we have to talk about it, reviewing every OVA, because I'm so excited, because I've never seen it. It's new Attack on Titan content. I haven't had new Attack on Titan content that I didn't know what was going to happen in, like... Well, no, I read the manga recently, so that's not true. But instead of that, it was like a year. So I'm really excited.
Yeah, it seems that all the original actors from Funimation who
Yep.
did who did and recently did the new season and the original episodes will be returning, obviously, for the
Bryce
OADs.
Papenbrook doing young Eren again is gonna be so
Yeah.
good. Dude, I'm so excited.
Yeah, we get the Lost Girls episode. We get John's backstory. We get Ulysses Notebook episode.
Is that where John's like opening happens? Like
Yeah,
you know,
the
where
opening for John.
Yeah.
That's. I thought somebody made that up. Like,
Yeah,
wow, this is good editing.
I was like, wow, this
I'm like,
is really
no,
good.
this is like, yeah, he has his own opening, the first Attack on Titan opening, but it's just John as the main
Wow.
character,
Wow.
as he usually sees himself in the
Yeah, of course.
anime. But that's some great news. I thought that was
Fantastic.
something cool to share. On other news, big Fire Force news this week, or at least recently, just dropped. Attack on
Attack on Fire Force.
Attack on Fire Force. The final volume 34, Fire Force's Achi Okubo's was just released. I don't know if you saw this, Ben, but
No, I
check
have
it
not.
out. The final volume. So Shinra in his Bancho. I don't know what his form is. His final.
Bancho. Yeah, his Bancho
Yeah.
form. Yeah.
Don't look at it if you haven't seen Animate, but it's not that much of a spoiler. It just looks cool. It's just Shinra in a different form, and it looks.
It's not like the Demon Slayer final volume,
where-
where I was spoiled about like months before I even read the manga.
Yeah, don't look at that if you. But it says despair or hope,
Yeah.
and it shows Shinra on the cover. It's just absolutely wild, and it's just so cool to see. I love
great.
looking at new volume covers, but this is the final one. But the bigger news on top of that is that big reliable sources leaked that Fire Force Season 3 was in production.
Yes.
And
as we assumed. you
yeah,
know.
so-
they weren't just not going to continue it, you know.
Yeah, it wasn't. Still hasn't technically, at least by this point of recording, hasn't been officially announced by the official accounts.
Is it Bones?
No, David
Madhouse.
Productions.
David Productions.
David
There you go.
Productions, but usually it's the Fire Force or Kodansha, or they usually do the
Right.
announcements for. So no official announcement has been made, but reliable sources who have leaked actual information in the past have said this now. So we're gonna go ahead and assume. Even the actors, the dub actors, are responding to it. Like, yeah, let's go. So
Let's
like,
go. But they're excited. I
yeah,
know.
they're excited to return
Yeah.
to dub it and
Yeah.
direct it and work on it. It's just
Yeah,
it's
I
just-
worked with Kyle a while back in a class. Who's the ADR director, and I know that he loves the series. He loves
the voice of Kaminari from My Hero Academia
Kaminari,
also.
yeah. And Marco from One Piece. But yeah, he loves the series. He loves working on it. It's his child. It's his love child. So
Yeah, I love the dub. It's so great. You also check it out.
It's really good.
I
I want sub, but don't.
That's
tell
okay. I don't
anybody
blame.
else.
I don't blame
Yeah.
you. Sub dub.
Yeah,
This is
Eric Vale as Eric Vale's my favorite voice
Arthur-
actor, by the
Arthur.
way. But Eric Vale as Arthur is perfect. So
Yeah.
like, yeah, I
It's
love
so cool. And I have another snippet news that is really small, but the Anime TV Twitter account and the Mob Psycho Twitter account announced, "Hey, it's May. Stay tuned on May 12th for Mob Psycho." That's it. That's all we get.
it. Wait,
So-
what?
So they
New season?
I don't know. I don't know, but we have news coming
There's
on
no
May
way.
12th apparently.
Trailer. It's
Maybe
gotta
a date
It's
announcement.
got to be a trailer.
Maybe a trailer. But either way, we're getting new. It's already been confirmed. Season 3 for Mob Psycho, but this is probably going to be.
Yo,
other
the news is hyped today, baby.
Yeah, I know.
Dude, this is sick. If for those of you who haven't heard our opinions on Mob Psycho, I don't know if we've ever given it. It's one of our favorite anime shows. It's one of my favorite shows in general. I love Mob Psycho. Everything about it is perfect.
It's great.
Yeah, it's awesome.
One, the GOAT, the
One's
author of
the
Mob
GOAT.
Psycho.
Yeah.
Yeah, but more news from Mob Psycho. We don't know what it is, so stay tuned on May 12th for that. And Ben, I'm going to hand over the news to you because you got
Alright.
some more stuff for
I'll
me.
go a little bit quick on this one because we took a while for getting hyped up, but
That's right.
as we should. Last week we talked about Quintessential Quintuplets new film. They previewed a new trailer, so go check that out. The film is serving as the finale for the story,
Yes.
which is really cool because we talked about in our first Shonen Junk about canon movies. So maybe this one could be, is
It is. It seems.
Quintessential? Is it slice of life or is it
It's
romance?
it's rom-com. No,
Rom-com.
it's not really slice of life. I'd align it more with
Rom-com.
harem rom-com.
Great.
More
Well,
like
it might be, since it is canon, it might be the biggest rom-com movie that we've seen.
At least to my knowledge, yeah.
Yeah.
And it looks canon, and because I read the manga and I finished it, and
Yeah.
the panels and the trailer, what they're teasing lines up. So we're
The
gonna be getting to
animation looks
ending.
really good.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
step up from the show. That's what I love about anime movies. They just step up the budget.
Yeah.
At least in most cases. They
Yeah,
do.
I watched the trailer, but without the subtitles, so that I don't get spoiled, because I do plan on reading it.
Even
So,
if you read it, you won't know. You won't know.
You won't get it. Yeah. Great. Number 2. This one's big. Sailor Moon manga's final arc gets 2 Sailor Moon Cosmos film in early summer 2023. So Sailor Moon is coming back to finish. I'm not
hiatus?
sure. I don't know. I'm not sure if the anime finished or not, but it seems like even if it did finish, it seems like we're going to get an anime with a new version of it through movie, which is called a special program commemorating the 30th anniversary of Sailor Moon anime revealed on Thursday that the Shadow Galactica arc, awesome name,
Yeah.
the
what?
final arc of Naoka Takeuchi's original manga, will get a 2-part anime film project titled Geki Yoban Bishoji, Sensei Sailor Moon Cosmos, translated Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon Cosmos the movie, and will open in Japan on early summer 2023. This was supposed to be released in 2020, September 11th, 2020, but was delayed because of COVID,
Yeah.
and now it's coming back. So yeah, it's going to be great. I'm very fascinated. I do eventually want to read Sailor Moon, but we'll see.
Can whoever the author, I forgot what her name is, the author of Sailor Moon, can she tell also Hunter
Hunter
Hunters?
Hunters?
Can he
Yeah,
tell
'cause
him
they're
also get
married.
out hiatus?
Yeah, they're married. No, that's not gonna happen.
Please.
Yeah.
No, but I just
not
thought that
gonna
was
happen.
funny. I know people are gonna be like, "What about Hunter x Hunter? Like, can't they both come out?" Like,
Nope. All right, moving on. Don't want Edgar to start on that train. So let's
it's
move
always
on.
going on.
Yeah. Isayama, who is the author of Attack on Titan, who we just talked about, draws tribute illustration for SpyXFamily.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Official fan book.
Looks great.
Yeah, it does. There's a note alongside the illustration which says, Endo-san has been an assistant for a long time. When I first read this, SpyXFamily, I said this without thinking, what have you been doing? Because of the quality level of his own work is so high.
Oh, so he worked with someone with Attack on
yeah,
Titan?
I didn't
That
know
makes
that.
2 that I know. The author of Blue Lock worked with Isayama on Attack on Titan, and
Yeah,
it seems like Endo now.
If you want to look at that,
Yeah,
it does look like Attack on Titan drawing.
Yeah.
Especially, it looks
Anya
like
looks like a smaller.
yeah,
the
Anya-
eyes look like Mikasa type eyes.
Anya looks like that she's about to destroy the entire world.
Yeah.
with the eyes drawn with the lines and stuff.
It's just so
Yeah.
great. I love seeing mangakas collaborate and draw each other's work. It's just so good.
It's really good. It's really
Yeah.
good. Manga artist Hiro Mashimi, who did Fairy Tales and Eden Zero, Boichi, who did Dr. Stone, and Chuya Koyama, who did Space Brothers, illustrated a promotional poster for Marvel Studios' Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness film. The poster
Awesome.
features each creator's take on the eponymous Doctor Strange, which
Nice.
is really cool. It looks really great. I just love how stylized Boichi is.
Yeah,
It looks
super
crazy.
stylized, and it looks like a. Can I see it? I want to look at it
Yeah,
one more
yeah.
time before, just so I can get a good look at it. Yeah, he looks like a villain straight out of Doctor Stone.
He does.
I like the middle one. Obviously, you said you
that's
prefer
why I said
Boichi's.
the middle one. The middle one is
The middle one is the guy who did Fairy Tale.
oh yeah, it is. I like the middle one. Sorry, that's
Yeah.
what I meant to say.
Yeah,
The middle
Boichi's
one-
looks good. Don't get me wrong.
The
but
middle one looks like he was from What If. He looks like how he was drawn in What If.
I just saw
Yeah.
the Doctor Strange episode of What If.
It's so good.
Yeah, it
it's
was
the
good.
best episode in What If, in my opinion.
Really? All right, then I guess I just stop watching.
Yeah. No. It's all good. But yeah, you should definitely stick around for the Thor party episode. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I just wanted to preface real quick. As I was looking through the news, I wanted to say that sports anime and manga is having a small renaissance right now.
Yeah.
They are going off. There is so much going on in the sports spectrum of anime. So as we know, Hirichi Furudate's hit volleyball manga Haikyuu is getting a full new one-shot after the success of the extra chapter. So it's going to get a whole new volume, which is really cool.
Also canon?
Also canon.
Nice.
It takes place with all the characters in 2022.
Nice.
Which is really cool.
Very good.
Showa no Guruzeni manga and second part, and it's going to return in August. This is a baseball manga that focuses on a baseball team that operates as a highly stratified society where the player's performances determine his annual salary. So yeah, this is a baseball manga. It's very stylized. It looks great. Golden Kamui's Satoru Nodo relaunches Supi Namarada ice hockey manga. So there's a new ice hockey manga that debuted in 2011 and only had 6 volumes. It went on hiatus and now it's coming back. So yeah, and then Aoyashi, new football anime or soccer anime release date. So published by Gintoki on October 29th, 2021. It's a new sports manga that's based on soccer. It's getting an anime and it's coming out this month, and it's done by Production IG, which is famously the
Dr. Stone.
Yes, Dr. Stone, and I think Haikyuu.
Yeah,
they also did Haikyuu. And some of my friends are in the dub, so check that out.
Really?
Which
That's
is really
cool.
cool. Yeah. The voice actress who did Horimiya, the lead role, is in it. And yeah, so there are a couple people in there. And of course, everybody is waiting for Blue Lock. It's coming out the end of this year.
Yes.
I'm guessing it's going to come out the day the World Cup starts.
That'd be so cool.
Yeah.
Can you imagine an ad for Blue Lock in the World Cup?
Yeah, it's going to happen.
That's
It's
so
gonna happen.
cool, man.
Yeah. So
everyone's gonna be like, "What's this?" I also got but finish this, and I have other news that will tail into that. The last one for me.
Yeah. That's it.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, well, I have one that leads into our main topic.
Well, I have
so.
one more that was interesting.
Yeah.
Atsushi Okupo recently tweeted that shared a link to a news article. I had to translate on Google
who is
Translate. The author of Fire Force.
Fire Force. Okay.
Recently collaborated with Liverpool. The team of
the
Liverpool
football club.
Yeah. The soccer football club recently collaborated with Kodansha and Liverpool. Did a mural at the stadium.
What?
In late April, he made an illustrated. He drew an illustration mural, and it's like in the stadium, I guess on a wall or something like that.
Probably in their like museum.
Yeah, like 5 famous scenes carved in history of the club in a large scale.
They've won the Champions League 5 times, so it's probably that.
So I don't know who these people are, but let me show you a picture, and you can look it up if you go to. If you probably just look up.
If you didn't know, I'm a huge soccer and football
so he
fan.
did. Okubo did
It's when they. God, it looks so good.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I just thought another huge win for anime and like sports fans.
Yeah.
Like it's just so crazy to see.
So on the far right, that's Genie Wijnaldum when he won the Champions League. The middle is Steven Gerrard when he won the Champions League. I think the far left is Fernando Torres when he took them to the Champions League final. But yeah, but that's great.
I'm surprised you know all the names. Well, I'm not surprised, but I was like, it's not your team, but
Liverpool
still.
is one of. I'm a big fan of the Premier League as well.
Yeah, but that's. Can you imagine like getting like if I was like if my favorite mangaka like drew me, I'd be like psyching the hell out.
But these guys don't know. Manga,
well, I can imagine that some of them might be
these
fans.
These guys don't read, Edgar.
I know.
But
I mean, they
play football, isn't it?
Yeah, but Kodansha like partnered with them, and I guess Okubo had some interest. Or I know he's a soccer fan. I don't know for what team, but he has a jersey. I know he tweeted about it earlier. He had a jersey.
I'm wearing my team's jersey right now.
As you wear that every day,
FC Bayern München. I don't wear it every day. I just have.
You wore
many,
Bayern.
I have so many jerseys.
Yeah, I know.
Of a Bayern shirt.
He wears different jerseys. He's like an anime character. He wears the same outfit every day.
I'm not. No. Yeah.
Oh no! But I just saw this was great. I know.
Great.
Anime.
I'm excited. I'm glad that you showed me that. That's really cool.
Yeah. This is another big win for anime and real life. Not real life, but sports fans.
Yeah, sports. Yeah.
What do you have, Ben? Last news.
So the last news is, and it goes into our main topic. There are heavy rumors This is not confirmed at all. So don't take this lightly. This is just
I'm gonna
dumb
take this as
fun.
fact, man. I don't care what
no,
you say.
don't take this as fact.
Because
Because there are reports going out of, oh, this is true. Actually, this is untrue. And then people saying, no, this is actually genuinely true. And then people going, no, this is genuinely untrue. And you're like, okay, well, now I don't know what to believe. Edgar, do you know Mappa? A small,
I think I've heard of
small
them.
company
I don't know. I
in-
mean,
in
maybe
Japan.
they sound like very wee, like a very wee studio.
There are reports that they're gonna make season 3 of One Punch.
What?
So, yeah, season 3.
Rip to all rest in peace for all Mappa employees.
And they only killed 4 animators to make it.
Oh man,
They had to sacrifice them at the pool.
it only cost
yeah.
only costed us several arms and legs.
Yeah, they had to sacrifice 4 more animators at the
Oh my
volcano at
God.
the top of Mount Fuji.
I mean, yay if you're a Mappa fan, but if you're realistic and like know what's going on or know what's happened with them, nothing
Yeah.
big happened. But if you're in the discussion of how Mappa treats their employees and how they're picking up all these shows, you would be somewhat worried.
it's bad. It's
Yeah.
bad.
So if this does happen, because it is still not confirmed and it's still just a rumor, it is interesting. This will be the 3rd studio handling One Punch Man.
Yeah.
They've had a change from season 1. Madhouse did the first season, and I don't remember.
Famously, Madhouse did season 1, and more infamously,
I don't know who did the second one.
JC Studios, JC Crew.
Didn't
did
they do
season
Haiku
2.
also? No, they did something else.
No, they did something else.
Well,
So Madhouse wasn't able to hold on to season 1 because
why?
the manga wasn't complete enough to do a season
Oh.
2. So they had to drop it and move on to other projects, which I just think is absurd. Like, couldn't you have waited and then do other projects and then do One Punch when you had the time? You know, I don't know.
that's but JC staff did Food Wars and Toradora and Data Live and Maid Summer. Oh, they did a lot.
They did a lot.
So they're famous and they're a good studio. Season 2 is just known for a drop in animation quality. I think it was fine, but I did obviously know the differences. At Madhouse just did.
I've heard all my Edgar's the only one who says of my friends who says it's fine. Everybody else has told me.
See,
don't
here's
watch it.
here's what's interesting. It's I don't know. I feel like I need to rewatch it again. But when I watched it, I really thought it was okay. It didn't ruin anything for me. But what's funny is that again, I need to watch it again. But what's funny is that it got this reaction after season 1. And apparently season 2 was just so bad and so different because it got a different studio, and it was such a huge drop in quality. It was a drop in quality, but not to the extent. At least I don't believe.
I think the main thing that a lot of my friends talk about, because I haven't seen season 2, as you'll soon figure out, but what I hear is that the comedy really lacked.
That is true.
In season 2, like the physical comedy and the changes, that Mob Psycho and that one just feed on,
Yeah, there's more to adapting a story than just animating it and putting it in motion.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
it's also the pacing and how they
That's a great way of
structure
putting it, yeah.
and how they, how the actors are, how everything is formulated.
I also heard that there was pacing issues and how Saitama wasn't really a part of the story in that.
Yeah, but I mean that could
part.
and that could also go to the manga. I mean,
Manga,
I don't,
yeah.
but I didn't read the manga at that point, so maybe by that point, so maybe it wasn't rearranged the same way that the manga had it structured. But I just found it interesting because it had this reaction, and considering, and Attack on Titan had for Mappa, they had a bunch of people defending Mappa when you saw the not huge drop in quality, but there was a big controversy whenever Attack on Titan came up, and people like, guys, it's Mappa. Like, there's all these like not excuses, but like defenses like to Mappa and like why there was a difference in quality. But putting them side by side is just interesting in seeing like how much people defended Mappa after the huge success of Jujutsu Kaisen, and considering that Attack on Titan was so beloved, and how One Punch Man got the exact opposite treatment.
Yeah, I agree.
Again, it could be as bad as people said it. I've only seen it once, and that was a few years ago. But I see clips now, and I still see some good animation stuff in there. But it is, it's just not seen as that good of a season. It also ends really weird. It doesn't have a great place to end because of the way that the story goes on.
And that's something you really got to nail. especially if it's like if you're a new studio, you really got to nail the ending because otherwise you leave a sour taste in other people's mouths.
Yeah,
But
but a season 3 by Mappa would be really interesting.
While they're at it, why don't they just redo season 2? Just redo it. If you're already gonna,
I don't think I've seen a studio do that. Just redo one season rather than.
I think the
whole
only
thing.
way it would be allowed is if the authors and maybe Shonen Jump allowed it, but I don't know. I'm not
I think
sure.
it's fine. I think if they want to, if it is good, if they are picking it up, they should just continue it, and I think it will. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, I really don't know what to think of it because I would be excited.
We know that it's in development somewhere.
Yeah.
But we don't know with
Who's
whom.
doing it.
It's probably not Madhouse because they're focused on Fire Force.
No,
right?
Madhouse is that's David.
That's David Productions. What's wrong with me? Who's doing what? What is Madhouse doing right now? I know they're doing something.
Well, you talk. I'll look it up.
All right.
I have no idea.
But yeah, so I think that's interesting. I love Mappa's animation, but they also have thousands of other projects, so I'm afraid that they're going to dip in quality. And I swear to God, if Vinland Saga dips in quality, I will scream. I will throw a fit because that's one of my favorite stories of all time.
Yeah.
While Edgar's looking that up, allow me to segue into our main topic.
What do you got, Ben?
A half-blind review. What is a half-blind review? Well, I'll tell you.
One of us got to be blind, right?
Yeah, one of us has to be blind. So a full review is when we both, seen it for the first time, or a blind review. A blind review was when we both see it for the first time. A review is when we've already seen it and maybe rewatching it. A half-blind review is when one of us has seen it and the other hasn't. And the one person who hasn't seen it is, it's me. I haven't seen it. I know I'm awful. I know. You started a manga podcast and you haven't watched One Punch Man. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
How dare you, Ben?
Throw him on the stake. Yeah.
Throw him on the stake. Burn him at the stake.
Burn him. Everything.
Demons, suck his soul out.
Yes, I know. I'm sorry. I love one's work, obviously, with Mob Psycho. Mob Psycho is one of the reasons why I've been pulled into this manga and anime industry and why I want to work in it so much. But yeah, One Punch Man. It's my first time watching it. I have seen clips and I've seen episodes of it, so it's less blind and more like somebody has beaten my eyeball to death and I can see small little stuff. So one eye is really swollen and the other one's okay.
Yeah.
But I'm healed. I am no longer one punchless. I now can look at the memes and go, I understand.
Oh.
I'm a man of culture.
I'm a man of quality.
I'm a man of quality.
Oh.
I promise I have a better British accent than that. Anyway.
We should just continue the podcast like that.
Yeah. Oh, One Punch.
Punch Man.
But yeah, so this was my first time watching it. And let me just say, wow, what a feat. This is only season 1, by the way. I haven't seen season 2.
Yeah.
What a feat of animation, of storytelling, of breaking the mold.
Of course.
It's awesome. It's
One
really,
Punch
really
Man.
awesome. Edgar, when did you watch One Punch?
Woo! I mean, in high school, so I want to say when did the anime for
2015.
that? Yeah, a year after that, I guess. So 2016ish. So
Wow.
yeah, and I saw this before I knew anything about Mob Psycho and before I knew anything about
I don't know if Mob Psycho was even written during this time.
Are you sure?
Mob Psycho might have came out in 2016. Hold on.
the manga.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Well, I saw I heard the hype of One Punch Man when the anime was coming out, as they usually do.
Yeah.
But it had such a, I mean,
No, you're right. It came out in 2012. Sorry. keep
yeah.
going.
So Mob Psycho came first, and I definitely know that the Mob Psycho anime hadn't come out by this point. So it was One Punch Man first, but it had a premise that was so enticing. What if the world's strongest hero became so OP and so powerful that he was so bored with what he had? And to those who've seen and read Mob Psycho, it sounds obviously interesting because Mob Psycho came first. And it has Mob runs into the same problem where he's so powerful, he doesn't have any interest with his power because for different reasons, but they sound similar and they look similar.
Are you sure that the One Punch Man webtoons didn't come out first?
Well, maybe you
Because
could be right because
their name is One, so I would assume that One Punch came out.
And for those of you who don't know, originally One Punch Man, the manga, came out as a webtoon, only done by One, and you can look it up because One isn't the best with drawing.
Yes, it came out in 2019, the webcomic.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Whoa, wait, what?
2009. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
2009. What, did I say 2018?
You said 19.
Oh, 19.
And I was
What's
like,
wrong
what
with
the
me?
heck?
No, 2009.
Yeah,
it came out.
so
So One Punch did come first.
Yeah, so he originally did. He released it online as a webtoon, doing everything himself because Murata is now known as the illustrator for One Punch Man, and he is like on another godly level. And they're obviously different. And One is known more as a storyteller now for One Punch. Is the storyteller for One Punch Man, and when he originally did it as a webtoon, it was like him doing it himself, and then Murata went out to him and said, "This is hilarious. Can I draw?" And they, now they started releasing.
Yes.
I just, can you imagine?
Can I draw? Yes.
Please.
Yes, you can.
But and Murata just found it, he liked the character a lot, and he thought it was hilarious. He found it funny, and he wanted to put his work into it and work with them.
Obviously, the OG drawings were not the best.
Yeah, but it is interesting. I like seeing the original work and what it looked like before it became the big One Punch Man manga.
Because obviously they still drew Mob Psycho, but I think they took some art lessons in between 2009 and 2012 because they still
But for Mob Psycho, it works for that world.
Yes,
which is funnily enough. For One Punch Man, I'm glad they picked it up because it's so serious and it's so super stylized, and the anime adapted it very well.
The style of it needs to slingshot from absurdly bad to absurdly good, and that comes with and that happens a lot with other anime. But One Punch, no other anime has specifically gotten it down like One Punch. Yeah.
So when I watched it, I just had a lot of hype behind it, as it usually does, and I watched it. I thought it was super cool, and I followed it along, and it just had great animation. I didn't really have anyone to talk to about yet because you were getting into anime, but you weren't really.
Well, anime back then was also like if you talked about it as much as we talked about it, you would get bullied.
Yeah, And I know you were around, but I mean, I didn't really talk about anime with you.
No, I wasn't that big into anime at that point. It was just Dragon Ball. That I was into. Yeah. And Yu Yu Hakusho, but that was it.
Yeah. But what are your thoughts on it, Ben? Like when you watched the first episode, what did you think? What did you feel? Did you like Saitama from the start?
Yes, and yes. When I watched it, so the first episode, it just kind of goes over his backstory, right? And I was so fascinated because first of all, seeing Saitama with hair. I
know, different man.
Took me. I was like, "Excuse me, what?
Who are you?"
Yeah, exactly. I was like, "No," but yeah. So hold on, let me pull up the episode list because I just lost
The Strongest Man is what the first episode is called for season 1.
Yes. So obviously, the episode. So it starts. So the first thing that we see, I remember this. It was like a villain who kind of looked like Piccolo. I remember,
but he was huge.
Yeah, because it was voiced. So I watched the dub, the first episode, and then I rewatched it in sub.
I think it's voiced by Bryce Papenbrook.
No, that villain is voiced by Chris Sabat.
I'm thinking of a different one. I'm thinking of the one at the very end. But yeah.
So the first one. And obviously they get really, really good voice actors for these one-off villains who get killed instantly, which I think is great. But what I really took away I was like, why does that guy look like he's from Dragon Ball?
Yeah.
A lot of the villains look like, especially with the eyes, they look like they're from Dragon Ball.
Yeah, the Vaccine Man is what his name was.
Yeah, Vaccine Man. And it was hilarious. Even though I stopped watching the dub because I preferred the sub, hearing Chris Sabat say, "I'm Vaccine Man," I was like, what the? I was like, what is this?
It's so funny.
And he kind of looks like Piccolo too because he has the antennas and stuff. And it was so funny, and hearing Saitama be like, "No, I beat him in one punch," and he's screaming, and the sub had a absolute blood curdling scream.
Yeah.
I have to
he's
say,
very hilarious. Voice actor.
I have to say the One Punch, the Saitama sub, I think might be my favorite sub voice performance I've ever heard.
Ben, then you should check out Love Is War. He voices
really,
the main
does
character.
he?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it's but I'm
the
gonna
dub
watch,
is amazing.
I'm gonna watch
that.
Love Is War dub.
You watch both, but
Watch
just
both,
so you
okay.
know, the main character for Saitama's voice actor in that also plays Shirogane, the main character in Love Is War.
Yeah,
He's so funny. He's so hilarious, and he's just so great. He loves doing over the top performances, and
yeah, it's really good. It's really good. But yeah, so that was really good, and the whole episode was basically just kind of setting up. So the first time I heard City A, B, C, D, E, I laughed my butt off. I was like, why are they called City A, B, and C? Like that was, and God, if anybody told me what fictional world do you not want to live in, I would put this up there with Attack on Titan and
it
Game
just
of
gets
Thrones.
Demolished like
They all
huge.
die. Like they're
Especially
like
with the
they're
big huge guy, like the enormous like giant huge guy that he takes out is like steps on an
city just-
entire like city, like, and then like when Saitama punches him, he like
yeah.
it's just so huge.
And Saitama's like, whoops, you know,
Yeah,
because
I
he like crushes people. It's so funny. So I think what I thought the conflict of the series was gonna be was Saitama having to like reel himself back, or like having to learn how to reel himself back because he like
Black?
No, not black. Reel himself back because he like destroys things so much that it's like a danger, you know, to other people.
He also wants
But
to have fun and enjoy it, but he just can't.
Exactly, but he just can't. Exactly.
Poor guy.
Yeah, poor guy. But yeah, it was also like the comedy was very, very present in the first episode when it was the doctor who like gave the steroids to his brother, and he became like the world's strongest man, and he was ginormous, and Saitama was on his other shoulder, and the guy was on the other shoulder, and the science guy was like, kill him, he's on your shoulder, and he strikes his shoulder and kills this brother. And he has like a whole backstory with his brother, and then Saitama punches him, and his blood like just goes like, and it's dude. And when Saitama like smacks people, and then they go so fast, and then their blood splatters everywhere.
It's so funny.
Like, oh my god!
I forget how
It's so
funny,
funny.
the show is.
It reminds me to bring this up also. The first viewing of Saitama and Genos I ever had, when Team 4-Star who created Dragon Ball Z Abridged, when they were on their little hiatus between episode 59 and 60, which eventually became the finale of the series, they did these little shorts that was called #CellGames, and it would have other anime characters come in, and other Japanese like video game icons come in and fight Cell. And one of them was One Punch and Genos, and like the voice actors that they had for Genos and Saitama were really good.
Really?
Yeah, that sounded really good. And Genos was like, "Let me handle this, master." And Saitama was like, "Are you sure about that, Genos? You know how these things go, right?" And then Genos is like, "Of course, I've gotten a whole bunch of upgrades from Dr. Kusuno." And he's like, "And this attack will be the finishing blow." And Cell like just absolutely destroys him with one slap. It's hilarious.
That's usually how it goes in the show.
Yeah,
too.
and like Cell and like Saitama are about to fight, and Saitama's like, "Wait, the Cell games are on Wednesday?" He's like, "Sorry, I can't. There's a sale going on at the store." And so they wrote it really good, and that was my first introduction. And that was like in 2017 when they did that.
Yeah, so you had no context.
So I had no context. But the way that enemies die really fast, or like how things happen really fast, reminded me a lot of Dragon Ball Z Abridged, which I really appreciate because Dragon Ball Z Abridged was a part of my childhood, and I really love the series. But yeah. And then we get to Genos, right?
I love Genos. He's
So
probably
Genos- yeah.
my second favorite character in the show or in series.
Yeah, he's great. So Genos comes in, and like Saitama has a dream that he faces off like against like really, really terrible like villains, and he's having a really hard time. And then he wakes up from the dream, and then the actual villains are actually there, and he just destroys them with one punch, and then they surrender.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious.
That is fun.
And Genos comes in and explains his like entire backstory, with like no visuals. So he was just talking like this, and I was like, Saitama, when I met you for the first time, I was, and Saitama's like, oh my God, shut up.
Yeah, he's a real bore.
Yeah, exactly. Which was great, but I love how it takes away from, other animes in general.
Yeah,
because Saitama having no hair, because all the main characters have some crazy wacky hair.
It's called the cool anime hair. Like it's like a trope, not really a trope, but it's just like a given that
we
you have
talked
with
about
main
it
characters.
in our anime tropes.
You just got to have cool looking hair to be important and like stand out. But Saitama doesn't need any, and he's like one of the most like noticeable characters because he's bald.
Yeah, definitely. And of course, eventually we get into the introduction of the Hero Association and all of that stuff, and what the real conflict of the story is. And I'm sure it was really hard for one to do this, to make a story so interesting with a character that is overpowered. We see it even with Superman. Superman comics can be so boring. How many people have that rock? Like the green rock.
The kryptonite?
The kryptonite. That like...
The green rock.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't read a Superman comic in years.
But everyone knows kryptonite, Ben.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I forget.
How do you forget?
But sorry, I'm so sorry. But anyway, because Saitama is basically a Superman, and everyone's trying to figure out, like, why is he so strong? And I think my favorite episode was the episode where he's getting attacked in like that laboratory. And he's like, oh no. Like, and he's getting attacked.
You mean the clone guy? Like the guy who cloned himself and all that?
Yes. And he's getting attacked by that guy. And he's like, oh no, I made a mistake. And after he gets attacked, and Genos is like, no, it's because, Master, it's Saturday. And he's like, no.
He missed the sale.
He missed the sale and one punches the guy.
But it's also the big reveal of his workout, how he got to where he was.
Oh, yeah.
The number one workout that everybody should be doing right now.
Yeah.
100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats,
and then a 10
kilometer run.
10 kilometer run, yeah.
And I think there's another one. But and also
the AC, right?
Yeah, no AC during the summer, no heater during the winter. Eat a banana or something like that?
It says have breakfast every day. Even just a banana is fine.
Yeah, but that is like and then he's like, that can't be. That's a lie. There's no way that's how he got so strong. Like, yep, that's what I really did. And Genos is like, there's got to be something else.
Who was it? Was it Genos who got mad at him and was like?
No, the guy got mad at him, and then Genos was just confused. Like, there's another way. Stop making fun. Stop making fun of yourself. There's got to be some other secret.
Because the doctor was like, that's not even
because he gave himself like a stare. Like, there's got to be more because I've worked so hard just to achieve a power, and it can't be that easy.
But he was like, but that's not even that bad.
Yeah,
like he was.
I've tried it. It is that bad.
Yes.
Doing that every day is like so. You need to give yourself rest days. To
I don't think it would be able to work in real life. I think you would have to build up to it eventually. Like start with 10, then 15, then 20. But yeah, eventually I would love to try it. But it's so interesting because he's just like, just when Saitama is always like, oh, or just answers with yeah, or okay,
I guess.
like yeah, exactly. It's that stuff is so funny. So one of the biggest arcs that happens is the fight with the fish monster.
Yeah.
Who comes from the sea.
Let's not forget the fight, the sparring between Saitama and Genos. That's probably like one of the biggest.
The animated.
That's probably the biggest, if not the biggest, the second biggest moment in the entire season because that fight it's just so well done, and and I love the moment where he's like, when he serious punch, and he like, and he like almost hits him, and like the wind like is like so powerful, and like almost like knocks him back.
And Genos looks behind him, and all like the whole like debris is destroyed.
Saitama's like, let's get some lunch, and then he like walks so stupidly with his arms and legs like.
One of my favorite parts of that fight is when he's like running away, and he looks like an idiot when he runs, and he's like runs like a mom, like jogs. It's hilarious. It's really good.
Saitama's just so silly. But you're saying
it's really good. I forgot about that. And also the one with Sonic.
Speedo Sonic.
Speedo Sonic.
He's
yeah.
the voice of Aaron, at least in the sub.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, that's Aaron's voice actor.
That's great.
It's so good. And I love that when he almost like Speedo Sonic's gonna make an attack on him, and it's Saitama wants to. He's gonna punch him. Well, he doesn't really punch him. He has his fist up, and then Speedo Sonic's like nuts are about to hit, and they barely touch. And he's like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to touch you." And then it like hurts so much, and like Speedo Sonic's in pain, and it's just so hilarious.
It's hilarious. I forgot about that, but I also reminds me. I don't know if it was that same episode or maybe the next one, but when Genos was like, "Master, you have to do your daily work because you're a Class A hero," like, and he's a Class C hero.
Yeah, that was
so crazy.
that test was
it.
so stupid because he like beats like he like literally destroys all the workout equipment and then still manages to get a C. This season, I mean, if you always get another thing that I usually get frustrated is when characters don't get recognized for the work they do. It happens in My Hero a lot where like people don't recognize Deku's talent, or like in any other show where
they still really haven't recognized Deku's talent. They're just they kind of see him. All the heroes I feel like just see him as a means to an end.
Yeah, know? But like it happens, like you just gotta get used to it because like Saitama does literally saves the city and like the world countless times, and even does the smallest acts of heroism, and he doesn't get the credit for it because people just either overlook him or it's just bad timing, or Saitama just simply doesn't care because he really doesn't have the effort to be a hero. Yeah,
and that comes with really good writing, I think, because for one to write that conflict of where, and then eventually, we could like Saitama for him just to be like a really, really powerful dude. But in terms, he's also a great guy, like he's okay with not taking the credit in some points, even though at the beginning he's like, like I want the chicks, like Genos does, because Genos gets all this,
he has a fan, a bunch of fans,
has fans and stuff like that. But so the test was silly. But I love when Saitama was like...
What's Genos' hero name? It's like the blonde cyborg or something like that?
Oh, yeah. He was like the blonde robot or something.
Yeah, but Saitama's name is Caped Baldy.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was going to be like, yes, One Punch Man, but it's like Caped Baldy. I'm like, what?
Yeah. It's hilarious.
Oh, man.
But I loved the part when Saitama was like looking for something to do. And like nothing was happening, and he was like running around. The animation really reminded me of like Reagan in Mob when he's like, when Reagan's like freaking out and stuff. But when he was like, quick, I gotta find a villain, and he's like trying to ignore Sonic. Yeah. And he's like, I gotta find him, and he looks up and he goes, oh. And he looks up and he sees Sonic like doing like evil things. Yeah. And he one punches him, and he's like, okay, great, I'm done. Like what the...
I just love how Saitama just affects all these characters in different ways. Yeah. Speedo Sonic isn't inherently a villain, but he's trying to... He gets so annoyed and tired of Saitama that he drives himself to become a villain just to want to fight him. Like, like you got to pay attention to me. Like, I want to fight you. I'm going to have to beat you. And it's just so funny how he affects him in this way.
So funny. That's so funny.
But you eventually... I steered you off course. You're talking about the Fish King?
Yeah, Fish King. Yeah. Is his name.
We get introduced to Moomin Rider.
Yes, Moomin Rider.
I
loved it.
That he was going to be another character that seemed pathetic or like useless, but has a superpower. But no, he's just a regular guy on a bike.
He's just a dude on a bike.
He's a CT hero. He's like so high up too because of how
he's a C number 1. Yeah, because of how hard he tries.
Oh man.
Yeah, but
good guy.
Yeah, he's a great guy, and I love. One of my favorite scenes of the series is when Saitama does get that thank you note, and he meets him, and it is a Moomin Rider, and he appreciates him for his help.
I love how he gives him a banana.
But yeah,
in the hospital.
Exactly. I also watched this funny scene on YouTube where it's Moomin Rider, You Say Run, goes with everything, and it's him versus and it's all the audience like cheering for him. Yeah, let's go, Moomin Rider. And he's like, I'm gonna beat you, and the animation gets really good, and he gets absolutely destroyed.
Yeah, this show does
so funny.
It does a good job. Usually something you get tired of is when when characters fight a villain and they get so exhausted and beat up or fail or lose or die, and then somebody else shows up, obviously who's stronger, and then ends up beating them pretty easily. Usually that gets tired, and that's like the whole gimmick of the show, and it happens a number of times.
But I think that's why it gets away with it, is because it is the whole gimmick of it.
And you get to see these other heroes struggle with them, and it just goes to show how much powerful Saitama is.
Yeah, because when based on it, it is, in my opinion, it's a slice of life. It is a comedy.
Yeah,
it's based
with a lot of action.
Without the comedy and the good, drawing and animation, I don't know if it quite would have had the same appeal. But it has this just insane way of make you going. It's like when you watch the Titanic, right? When you watch the Titanic again, you go, maybe they'll make it off, maybe, and then they all die, and you're like, well. But in this one, you're like, maybe this guy will actually be a challenge to Saitama.
Also, you could argue that this is also a parody to like Battle Shonen and Hero, because like
I think it's one making fun of Battle Shonen
and hero and like heroes in general, because it's like I don't know, because like I think of My Hero because there's like hero associations, and there's like and just the way it is to climb up certain ranks, and like the way they treat other heroes, and how like sometimes. I don't know. I just find it like hilarious the way it's all treated, and it's super like
and how the power system in this world is the ranking system in they literally it gets obliterated by Saitama.
Yeah, and the fact that they just don't recognize him, and then Genos is instantly in the S tier and looks and knows that who Saitama is, and like what he's worth, and just like. And when people look at Genos, like, wow, you're so great, but why are you following this weirdo? Why do you keep calling him like master when he's like a C tier hero? That's just, oh man.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really, really good. So yeah, the fish one was really, really good.
Forget what also happened. I know the giant ship.
The giant ship comes in this one.
Boros.
Was that the manga panel that I saw that one time where he's like looking at it, where it looks just amazing?
Yeah, that's this one. But it's also another stupid comparison that people do when they compare an anime frame and a manga panel.
It's absurd.
You can't compare it like a frame. It's not the point of anime. It's supposed to be moving. Like the panel, they actually focus on that one look. You know what I mean?
You can't make the Mona Lisa into an animated show, and still make it look like the Mona Lisa. It's impossible.
Yeah.
It might get there at one point, but right now,
you can't, because like it's just it's a moving picture. It's a moving animation. You're not supposed to compare the frames with the panel that was spent. With the frame that was probably animated like a few days, a day on, rather than the panel that they spent like a week on or something.
Also in the fish fight, we get invited to Puri Puri Prisoner.
That's the guy with the
who's nude all the time.
And the one with the afro. Yeah.
I think that's hilarious.
Pig God. Oh my God.
Pig God. Oh, hey.
Watchdog Man is so funny. It's just a furry.
Yeah. I know. Like,
and he looks a lot like Saitama with the eyes, the plain face.
I'm like, what does he do? Like, what are you guys doing?
He just sits on a statue sometimes, like in the middle of the city.
Oh, dude, it's so funny.
Yeah, but you can introduce a lot of big heroes: Drive Knight, Metal Bat, King. Well, not really King, but they mentioned him. King.
King is there. King is there.
They mentioned season 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
King is there because remember, he couldn't do anything because it was in the air, and he specializes in like punching.
Yeah. So, and then there was a Child Emperor, Blast. You get. I forget how soon they introduce all the heroes. You get a lot. You get to, at least for you, Ben, you'll get to see a lot more of them in season 2. And the manga, I know all these characters now, but I forgot that they introduced them. But Boros is not the final villain, but the main villain that you see at the end of this arc and story.
Well, we also, one of the main characters who I know before I even read the manga, was Tornado.
Oh yeah, everyone's favorite loli.
Yeah, hilarious, by the way.
Yeah,
just
she's
to
funny.
Make her just like an absolute brat.
Yeah, they in the manga it's really funny because. Not only is all the characters super highly stylized and like drawn so well, but sometimes they draw them like very simply, like stupid. Like they look, you know what I mean? Like a very like a cute. Like, I don't know how to describe it. Like they're drawn seriously and then they're drawn like really plainly. And when she's like all mad and annoyed, she's drawn like a child. And like just pointing at Saitama and always acting mad at him and at everyone around her. She's just so funny. She's probably my third favorite character because she's just so funny.
Great.
She's really also funny.
I really love Silverfang, by the way.
Oh yes,
We didn't talk about the
martial arts. Yeah,
we also didn't talk about when Saitama destroyed the meteor. And he destroyed it, and all the debris still fell down and like destroyed the city, and he got blamed for it.
Yeah.
Oh boy, that was awful.
Even though he saved the city, but whatever.
Yeah, I know, whatever. But I love Silverfang. Silverfang's one of my favorite. Because I think he's really, really cool. I still don't know who Blast is. I still don't know who Zombie Man is.
Oh yeah, I know who that is.
I don't know any of those guys. But yeah, so the fight. And this is what makes it really interesting, is that obviously Saitama's going to win, and we know this. But what makes it really interesting is how the side characters, how do they beat their villains, you know? Yeah. How do they beat their, like, C-tier villains, you know, barely. Yeah.
Saitama also just ends up conveniently in places at the right time. Like, rarely does he ever go at a location where a villain is. Like the heroes have this plan. You got to go here. You got to go here. We don't. No, I don't. I think at no point does any of the heroes reach the actual ship except for Saitama.
No, it's just Saitama. Yeah.
And then they wonder why at the end they wonder why it was taken down. But Saitama just happened to conveniently, luckily, be there.
Yeah. But I also love the scene where Tornado introduces herself to Saitama, quote unquote, and Saitama's like, yo, whose little kid is this?
Yeah, whose child is this?
And she's like, and he's like, whatever. You know, it's so funny. But yeah, so he gets to the ship, and when he gets to the ship and he like walks past everyone and rolls them, and he's like, hey, let me in. And he's like, oh, I broke it. and he's like, whoopsie. And he's like, what I love about it is like the villains. At this point in the series, the villains are introducing themselves and explain their power like it's... I think this is a lot of like poking fun at like stuff like Dragon Ball and stuff like Naruto and stuff like that, where they explain their powers and he's like, when I was a kid, and then it gets cut off and Saitama just destroys him, you know, which I think was hilarious. But of course he gets to the final boss, who what's Boros? Yeah.
The one-eyed guy, the alien.
The one-eyed guy. I really like the last 2 episodes.
He's been searching the entire world.
For Saitama.
Destroying worlds to find their champion because he's also bored. Bored and feels like he's too powerful. But he meets Saitama and thinks he has a match and has fun. And it looks like Saitama tends to struggle because he can kind of keep up with him. But Saitama, once again, on another level.
No.
And I just love the scene where he gets launched to the moon and he kind of holds his nose like he's underwater.
That's not what would happen, by the way.
I know.
Your brain would just explode. But, you know.
We're talking about Saitama. We're talking about
of course.
Kate Baldy over here. He can clearly hold his own in space.
But... so we were getting to the points where, like I said, I am familiar with the memes. I am, and so a lot of the memes that I saw weren't in the series until the end. And when I was in the second to last episode, I was like, bruh, when is Saitama's going to show up?
Oh yeah, because
I'm like,
I know what you're talking about.
Because I drew that before.
Yeah, you did.
I drew that for my manga Instagram when I came back from vacation, and I was like, when is it? And every time I saw a meme in the last 2 episodes, I felt like standing up and applauding. It was like seeing Avengers Endgame. I was like, when he went, okay, I was like, yeah.
Yeah, this one?
Yeah, that one. I was like...
Yeah, it looks like just like the manga. It's just drawn.
It does. I'm like, yeah, woo, I love it. I was like, this is fantastic. And the final fight, the way that it ended was really, really good when Saitama punched Boros, right? Is his name? When he punched Boros and
the serious Saitama serious punch.
Oh yeah.
I love his names for the punches.
He said serious,
super serious punch or serious.
Punch? Yeah. But he did it. It was really good. And when he punched him, something I noticed was when he punched Boros, it cut like the clouds in half.
The atmosphere, yeah.
And it looks like Boros's eye. Yeah. You know, on the earth. And I was like, oh, like this is great. This was really, really good. And when he walks away, and of course, then Genos is like, "Did you have a hard time, Master?" And he was like, "Nope." And Tornado was like, "What is this?
What happened to the ship?
Yeah, what are you? Yeah. You know." and Saitama was like, Genos, deal with her. He was like, all right, listen here, you little brat. And then Genos gets destroyed and yeeted. And Saitama was like, oh my God, your limbs are on the other direction. He goes, oh, whoops. He was like, I got the hand. But we also see a possibility of a future antagonist through Sweet
Speedy.
Mask when he cut off the heads of all the prisoners, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And everyone was like, oh, this guy's a problem.
A my
you know?
mask, right? Or
Yeah, Sweet Mask.
I think I saw a different translation, but yeah, never mind.
Oh, well, I'm just looking at the Wikipedia right
no,
now.
I am too. I
it's-
thought I only see a my mask.
Mind Mask?
A my mask. M-A.
Oh.
M-A-A. M-A. Sorry. M-A-M-A-I mask.
Oh,
That's what
well,
I see.
I'm looking at the character, so maybe this is a English translation of it. But
Yeah.
So that was interesting. And of course, the series ends with how it began, with Saitama still destroying in one punch and being like, "No," you know.
Oh, you're talking about the blue-haired guy, my whatever mask, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
He's
same
the number
guy.
one A class.
Sweet mask, a my mask. It's the same.
Yeah.
I guess
the
there's a
same thing.
different translation.
Same thing. I have Edgar. I just want to say, I have a talent that I can't use in any other scenario.
What?
I'm able to recognize sub and dub actors so well
I can do that
that
too.
I can. Yeah. Oh, good.
Yeah,
So I was like, good. Thank God I'm not the only one with this useless superpower.
I can do it.
Um,
I like doing it because I like recognizing
Yeah.
the voice. I can recognize Kirito's and Inosuke's voice actor in the sub
Oh, really?
like pretty easily.
Yeah. Atomic Samurai is Nanami in Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah.
And I was able to just spot it because he has a very unique. He's nasally, but it's also deep and,
Oh,
and
no, that's-
very
yeah.
and very smooth.
I saw
which
this.
really like.
I've only seen. I saw season 1 in dub,
Yeah.
but I know all of the voice actors in sub because I saw season 2 in sub because it took forever for the dub for season
dub.
2 to come out. So
Yeah.
whenever season 3 does come out, whoever does it, I will be watching in sub because that's just how
Yeah.
I do it now, and it usually takes long for the dub to come out. But obviously, I read ahead in the manga, so I already know what's going on.
Yeah, of course. But I loved.
Are you excited for season 2? Are you?
Well, I'm not gonna read the manga from here on out. So I'm sorry.
I don't blame you.
But
I don't blame you. A lot of people will agree
Yeah.
with you, but there are some scenes that I would like you that you should still check out.
yeah, I'll check out some scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there is one fight that I agree that are worth watching because they're still animated very
Nice.
well.
Yeah, very good, very good. But yeah, I love this series. I'm gonna pick up the manga now, and I'm gonna add it to my other.
You've bought
lot of
volumes
lists.
before this, right?
Yeah, volumes 1 through 3.
Yeah.
And I want to collect all of it. It's still ongoing, right? Is it in?
Yeah,
If
it's
is
still-
it in its like final arc or something?
No, not that I know of.
Great.
I can. I mean,
Is it
I wouldn't be
weekly?
surprised.
Is it weekly, monthly?
It's not monthly, but it's not weekly. They just announce
They
announce
just
it.
release it.
Yeah, they just release it.
That's
they just-
awesome.
Yeah, sometimes like it tells you when it will be the next chapter, and sometimes sometimes it just doesn't tell you.
Oh wow.
They just work on their own terms, and I wouldn't blame them because it's godly. The pages and the
Yeah.
chapters are just like,
It looks like it. Yeah.
oh my god! If you guys haven't checked it out, and if you think that the anime is something else, holy man! The panels. I tell Ben every time I look at a One Punch. If you just open any page in One Punch Man, any of the volumes, any page, you'll just look it up, put it down, be like, how the heck, man? How do you do that? I can't reach that level.
How do we get there?
Yeah, I remember when we were in
Yeah.
Barnes and Noble, like, Ben, just check this out. Let's just look at any. You're not gonna know any context, but let's
Yeah.
just look at it and just see.
And
We
it
just-
was
we-
Atomic Samurai. I think.
Yeah, we just opened like
Yeah.
one page and I'm like, oh man, like
Yeah.
holy, like just we open any random chapter and it's just on
Yeah,
another
yeah.
level.
Yeah, but yeah, it was really good. I love the humor. Like I said, I think Saitama's sub is so good.
How would you rate it or compare it compared to Mob Psycho? Along the same lines, better, not touch.
I would say it's as good. You know, a lot of
good.
people tried to compare. A lot of people think One Punch is better. If I had to choose, I would say Mob
Yeah.
because I think Mob
is more heartfelt and is more.
Mob is more heartfelt. I think they get the themes across better in Mob.
Yeah.
Whereas this doesn't really have themes. This is just kind of taking a shit on, not taking a shit, but poking fun at other shonen.
Yeah.
You know, but it's great while it does it. And this is the fact that they have created like such a, because this is an idea that like an SNL sketch would be based on, or
SNL sketch.
SNL sketch. What?
SNL sketch.
Sketch. I mixed up skit and sketch. Like an SNL sketch would be based on, and they would be able to make something out of a minute from it. But like the fact that that one was able to create this with this like farce of an idea is really awesome and really cool. So yeah, they're doing great, and I can't wait to catch up.
Yeah. Pick up the manga and let me know where you're at, because
Sure.
it's I haven't looked at or read any of the chapters that season 2 adapted, but it does have one of, I don't want to say he's my favorite. He might be my favorite. I have him. I do have the Funko Pop of him. I would think he's my. Yeah, it's not a spoiler. Genos.
Oh,
not Genos. Oh my God, what is his name? People are gonna kill me.
Is it Blast?
No, hold on. Let me look at it.
Oh.
I'm an idiot. Garo. Don't kill me, everybody. It's
Who's
Garo.
Garo?
You'll see. You'll see. You'll see who Garo is.
Who's Garo?
I think he's my favorite character. It's
Yeah.
really hard to tell because, there's no characters that really stand out. Saitama's obviously amazing, but I would probably say Garo's my favorite character, and then Genos, and then Tornado.
Yeah.
They're just so great.
I'm looking at some of the heroes' names. Why is there a hero named Just Glasses?
Glasses.
There is a hero just named, and there's a hero named Crying Man. What is this?
Yeah, they're just really random, and they're
I
just
know.
like all over the place.
It looks really funny.
All back man. Oh, there's a guy that was kind of not so controversial, but he's in the S tier. It's he's like the very the black guy, like the really buff black guy.
Yeah, Super Alloy Dark Shine.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's great, but I can see why he's controversial because
Yeah.
the way he's drawn is a bit,
It's a bit much. Yeah.
reminds me of that Dragon Ball character. What's his name? They made him purple because of his design.
Boob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
kinda,
no. There was somebody else. Who had.
he was originally animated black, and then they had to make him purple because of the design with his lips and face.
Right. Who was it? It
don't
wasn't Frieza.
No,
It was.
it's a roundish
somebody-
looking character.
It was roundish. Maybe it wasn't Dragon Ball.
No, it is Dragon Ball, buddy. I know it. Let me look
Well,
it
it
up.
wasn't Boo, because Boo was always. Oob is black, but absorbed Boo and became a little bit more pink. But that's not. I know who you're talking about. There was a character.
Mr. Popo.
Mr. Popo.
Yeah,
But I think Mr. Popo was always black.
yeah, but didn't they have to change him? Like at least in some.
They
version?
changed him in the original dub version. Yes.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, they changed it back because it is controversial, but also it's just the design of a character, So yeah.
It is a different species, but with the
Yeah.
red lips and the black skin,
Yeah,
it doesn't look
yeah.
great.
Doesn't look great.
And it kind of
Doesn't look great.
Mr. Whatever alloy guy, like he kind of looks like that kind of design. So
yeah,
I don't really care. It's all great.
I don't think. I think
That wasn't his
I
intention.
think people like to cancel anything they can. But,
Yeah.
Just like
Yeah.
anything else. But
season 2 has or at least the arc in season 2 that has a lot of good things that I'm really interested in hearing you talk about.
Great.
And maybe we'll talk about it on the podcast, or you'll just tell me. But
I'm sure we'll talk about it on here. you
Yeah.
know. But yeah, I'm
That was
super
great.
excited to see Tornado get more screen time because
she does.
I've seen a meme with I can't
Yeah.
say it on the podcast.
that's not a spoiler for the people who are watching, but it
because
is.
it's dirty. I can't say it on the
Oh
podcast.
well, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
There's a meme where
Genos rises from the.
where Genos rises and she says something sexual.
It's like yeah, do this, get up and fight, and I'll do this for you. And then he like gets up,
and
like,
he
immediately.
immediately gets up. Yeah.
I mean, that's all. That's
I
all
thought
of
that
us.
was real for the longest time. I was like, yo, this manga might be goated.
Like, I mean, we do anything for a Tornado. I mean, she's
Yeah.
like, she's bae. But then
course,
again,
of
she's
course.
also loli. So,
Yeah.
but she's legal. But
But she also like she talks a lot.
I don't know. She's just funny. Like,
Yeah, she is funny.
usually those characters annoy me, but this is like kind of a parody. So like,
But it's a yeah.
So it's
yeah,
like she's supposed
definitely.
to be like not really tsundere, but she's along those types of lines, like always
Yeah.
complaining and whiny.
I just want to say Pig God was so annoying during the meeting. I was
Yeah.
like, stop smacking, bro. If you don't know,
He's
I hate
disgusting
smacking.
to look at.
I'm like, stop smacking, bro. They're trying to talk and explain everything, please. But yeah. So yeah, that's my thoughts on One Punch.
Yeah.
I'll catch up and we'll have another half-blind review.
Yeah, the more we get closer
like
to the
that, yeah.
manga or season 2, I'll be more easily refreshed. That's why I didn't say a lot during him explaining everything, because it's been a while since I've seen season 1.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of fun. I'm super excited. I'm now no longer One Punch list. Now the only things I need to get is Naruto and Brotherhood, and people will actually begin to respect my opinions.
What do you mean? For what?
Because I've never seen Naruto or Brotherhood.
There's a lot. Yeah, but there's a lot. I mean, you could argue that there's always something you have to read or watch.
I feel like a lot of people would go, well, you haven't watched Naruto, so your opinion's obsolete.
No, I wouldn't argue that.
I
feel like One Piece is the
One Piece is the big one. Yeah.
But Naruto like kind of set the standard and is like the shonen standard of like he's probably one of the most recognizable, and people would say that, oh, you have to watch Naruto, but I wouldn't think so.
The Naruto's the one where people point at other shonen like My Hero, like Black Clover, and go, it's just Naruto. And you're like, well, no. No, not at all.
I mean, I would say that Naruto is an essential, but I wouldn't say that your opinion isn't valid just because you haven't seen or read Naruto.
I don't think anybody's opinion is invalid because they haven't seen or watched anything.
Blank,
Unless you're giving your opinion on something you haven't seen or watched, then it is obsolete because then you don't know, But
yeah, I'm with you there totally. Don't gatekeep anime, and don't gatekeep other people's opinions just because of what they have or haven't read.
Definitely don't. All right, you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you specifically want us to have something that we want to review or check out, let us know down below, because there's a whole bunch of stuff that Edgar has read that I haven't read, and that I've read and that Edgar hasn't read, or stuff that we both haven't read. We
will be reading and watching and talking about a lot more stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
So we will be getting to those, and we just can't wait to talk about more anime and more manga stuff. Next week we will have more specifically, even though it's not really anime or manga related, we will be talking about the Moon Knight finale. We will be talking about the Doctor Strange movie, giving our review about that, and we'll get more good stuff with anime and manga related. But those are the two big things, because we are going to watch it tomorrow. At least the movie, Doctor Strange movie tomorrow.
And lucky for us, Boichi just drew us a thumbnail, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, we can just easily put it in there.
It's going to be Dr. Stone, but manga?
Manga? Question mark? Not the comics, but like actual manga drawn by manga artists.
Dr. Stone. Doctor Strange.
Same thing.
Dr. Strange.
Oh, can you imagine Dr. Strange and Dr. Stone, and Senku together? That'd be so great.
That would kill my brain, because I say Dr. Stone instead of Dr. Strange, and Dr. Stone. Oh god.
Dr. Strone.
Dr. Strone. Dr. Stroke.
We're having
it'll
a stroke
be my
right now.
manga.
Yeah, Dr. Stroke.
It'll start. Yeah, and he'll be a brilliant scientist.
Sounds like a character from One Punch Man. Dr. Stroke.
Dr. Stroke. It does.
Gives other people strokes.
If you're gonna do that, I'll send you our address
to send the check. We have copyrights. Please pay us.
Please pay us. Thank you.
Trademark.
All right, you guys. Subscribe, follow, do all that stuff. Check on our Instagram for shorts. Do all that stuff. We love that our community is continuing to grow and continuing to view and like our videos. Thank you so much for that. We love all of you, and I hope that you will stick around with us and continue onward.
Yeah, we'll see you guys in the next episode next week.